we got the right person and wasn't another person. I just want to verify with you first. That's all.
Yeah, and I think it was showing on her GCIC that she has a warrant for her arrest, I think out of Nevada.
And Mississippi and Nevada.
Okay. Yes, I mean, so it looks like this is a new charge. The warrant was obtained on yesterday, and the alleged incident took place on February 3rd.
Okay. We just want to verify before we got started.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna start with the script if we're ready to go.
Stand up. Everybody stand up.
Oh shit,
Good morning, everyone. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I'm here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I think the female, oh, here it goes. The female's back on.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'll go back. So this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of the case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based on a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Finally, I need everyone to raise their right hand. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's begin with the ladies.
Full name.
Amaya Bell.
Ms. Bell, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property as a misdemeanor. I'm going to set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
I've also placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Destiny Danielle Wright. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
It's either a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay, so ma'am, we don't force lawyers on people. Either you want a lawyer or you don't. If you don't want a lawyer, you can hire your own. Okay. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. If you so choose in the future to hire your own lawyer, you can discharge this lawyer and go with the lawyer that you retain, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Go back to the
You're
cell.
welcome.
Yes. Next up, state your name.
Melissa Brumfield.
Okay, Ms. Brumfield, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, and 1 count of possession of drug-related objects. I'm gonna set a total bond in your, excuse me, your case of $9,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Dominique Chambers.
Ms. Chambers, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. I placed a $4,000 bond on this case. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your
There's
Honor.
also going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Jakari page. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Ms. Chambers. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Deja Montgomery.
Ms. Montgomery, you've been charged with one count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, I can.
I've also placed a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Scott Coleman. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So he is also going to have a stay away provision placed on his bond, and I've set his bond at the same amount. You have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
Okay, you're going to hire your own lawyer?
I will.
Yes, okay. Ma'am, you're free to go back unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Mary, get up. Come on, man. Hands behind your back. He's gonna-
Are you Miss Marie Ramirez?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with one count of entering an automobile and one count of obstruction of an officer. I'm denying your bond at this point on the entering automobile charge. I've set a $2,000 bond on the obstruction of an officer. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date. It's going to be set for May 17th. No, sorry, it's May 19th that I've set the preliminary hearing date for your case at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
One second, Ms. Ramirez. Ma'am, did you fill out one of those forms that may have been handed earlier this morning?
Yes, sir. It got sent off at the last minute. He sent it back off about 10:30. That's one we forgot to send off.
Okay,
But he got it to you about 10:30, right before we started.
okay. Let's see. Okay, I got it. Okay, ma'am, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. I'm going to also set a bond hearing date for May 21st at 8:30 in the morning. Your lawyer may be able to get you a consent bond before that date. If not, then you'll have that bond hearing. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
Do you have any questions for
I'm
me?
confused. Okay, so first of all, now I need my bond hearing so that they can understand the reason.
Ma'am, you have any questions for him? Yes or no?
Yes. Why can't I get a bond hearing till May?
Your Honor, are you down with her?
Yes, I am.
Go have a seat, ma'am.
I'm so confused.
Let's have a seat. Thank you. Come on, be good.
LaQuita Stevenson.
Ms. Stevenson, you've been charged with one count of trafficking a person for sexual servitude. This warrant was obtained yesterday. And it's based upon an incident that allegedly occurred on February 3rd. I'm denying bond at this point. You're going to have a preliminary hearing that's going to be set for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson, at the beginning, I heard that you were already in custody. Have you had a lawyer appointed to you yet?
The first time that I came here, for the charge, I denied, I said I didn't need a lawyer for the charge that I had, but I haven't been to court for it yet. I go April the 6th.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a bond hearing date that's gonna be set for May 21st, at 8:30 in the morning. And if you don't have any questions, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Brittany Shaw.
Ms. Shaw, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act and 1 count of a window tint violation. You're gonna have a total bond set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
And my bond is again 700,
Well, it'll be roughly
7,000.
700, yes, 7,000. So it'll be a percentage of that. And you
Okay.
have to speak to the bonding companies. They'll tell you their exact fee.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Randy,
Ms. Smith, you've been charged with 1 count of having prescription medication outside of a bottle and 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. You're gonna have a total bond set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go back, ma'am.
Christy Smith.
Ms. Smith, you've been charged with, it looks like 4 driving related offenses. All of these bonds are set by schedule, which means they're automatically set. So you're gonna have a total bond of $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Smith. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived if you're able to bond out. I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds here in Clayton County, because that's literally their job is to help people get out of jail. So they may place you on a payment plan. They may do all sorts of things that can help you get out of jail. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Thank you. Miss Michelle Thompson.
Okay, Ms. Thompson.
Oh, yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 2 counts of theft by shoplifting and 1 count of obstruction of an officer. All of these are misdemeanor counts. You're gonna have a total bond set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes. Well, I have a probation violation, sir.
You have a probation violation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as it relates to misdemeanors, I can set a bond on misdemeanor probation cases that do not involve an act of violence. So I have not placed a hold. I've set bonds on you. Doesn't mean that you do not have a hold on you, but the sheriff's department, they will have access to that information. So
It's a felony, it's a felony probation.
I'm sorry, say that again, ma'am.
It's felony probation. And it's a probation for aggravated assault that I've been dealing with for the past 6, 7 years.
Okay, so there was already a holdout on you?
Yes, because whenever I was downstairs yesterday, the lady was like, I had a warrant and I had a warrant out for me for a probation violation.
Okay, so they have the best and most recent information. So I would trust what you were told by that person in the sheriff's department. Okay, but I've set a bond on these offenses. Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set here in Clayton County for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. And if you're still here, then that hearing will take place over the Zoom like we're having here today, okay?
Okay.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Okay.
Deja Vamper.
Okay, Ms. Vamper, you've been charged with one count of having a license not on person. The bond is automatically set for this at $500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
And I see that you refuse to sign the form. So do you intend to hire your own lawyer or represent yourself?
Represent myself.
Okay, do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Hello, Walker.
Good morning. Tell me the last name again, ma'am.
Walker.
Okay. Ma'am, it looks like you are here on what's called a fugitive from justice warrant. And what that means is that you don't have charges pending here in Clayton County, but you're being held because of a looks like a warrant for your arrest for violation of probation out of Nassau County of New York. So all of the same rights that I read before apply to you, but you're in a situation where you have a right to a hearing to contest this extradition warrant.
Right.
And what will happen at that hearing is the judge that is sitting there will determine whether you are the person that's named in the warrant and whether the charges that are alleged in the warrant are actually true charges. Not that you're guilty or not guilty, but that they're true charges. And if the judge determines at that hearing that those conditions are met, then they will sign the extradition warrant and you'll get sent back up to New York. You have a right also to waive that hearing. And if you believe that you are Janelle Walker and there is the potentiality that there is a warrant for your arrest out of New York, you can waive that hearing and then the clock begins to start. So there's up to 60 days that New York has to come and get you. And if they don't come and get you at the end of that 60 days, the sheriff's department here will contact them and determine whether they intend to come and get you. And if not, then you'll get released. But it doesn't mean that the warrant has been dismissed. So you can leave 5 minutes later, you get stopped by another police officer and they run your information and determine that there's a warrant for your arrest and you will get arrested again. So this is something that you're going to have to take care of. Have you had an opportunity to think about whether you want to waive this hearing or have this hearing?
Yes, sir. I want to have it.
You want to have the hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So what we'll do, ma'am, is I'll make an indication that you're going to have the hearing. You want to have the hearing. And sometime within the next 30 days, you're going to be scheduled for a hearing here. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
Yes, so if I go back to New York and try to get the warrant off of me, will this go away? 'Cause I
I'm
think
sorry, say that again. I didn't understand.
if I go back to New York and figure out, why I have a warrant on me, this was 2 years ago. Because if I find out why I have a warrant on me, can I get rid of this and get it off of me?
Okay, so it sounds like you're asking me if, it sounds like you said, if I go to New York
Right,
to handle this, can I get the warrant off of me?
yes,
Well, the short answer is, going back to New York is the only way that you can get this off of you, unless you hire a lawyer up in New York.
I have one.
So you do have a lawyer in New York?
Exactly what I do. But I haven't had a contact with him in a minute, so I have to contact him again.
Okay, speak a little bit slower, ma'am. I'm from
Sorry.
Georgia, so my ears don't work that fast.
I'm
So
sorry.
speak a little slower for me.
I have a lawyer back in New York. I haven't spoken to him in a minute, so I have to, I have to call him about this warrant. But if I do have a lawyer and I, discuss it with him, he can get it off of me. He can get this, warrant off of me.
Possibly, yes. So my experience is more than 20 years as a criminal defense lawyer, and I've had these situations happen before. And we've had clients where we have been hired from, let's say, the client is arrested in Miami, and the charges or the warrant is here in Atlanta. We've had law firms hire us to come and negotiate with the district attorney's office here in Atlanta to see if they will consent to a bond or grant a bond so that the client can get released out of the Miami, police department or city jail, and then pay their own way to travel to Atlanta to deal with the charges. So if that's your intent, where you have a lawyer up in New York and you want the lawyer to work through what the lawyer can work through, then that's fine. And if that's your desire that you want to have the hearing, then that will be the case. So you need to understand, though, that if the lawyer is unable to work through whatever it is that they're going to work through up there, you will still have the hearing here, and then the clock will begin to run after that hearing.
Right. It's after 30 days. How long am I going to sit here and wait?
Oh, okay. You're still speaking too fast for me, man.
And how long am I supposed to wait for, 30 days?
So when you've said you want a hearing, so it's going to be up to 30 days to have the hearing. And then if you are the person named in the warrant, if the judge determines you are the person named in the warrant, and the judge determines that the charges are valid, then that 60-day period begins to run at the end of that hearing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Yeah, I got it.
Any more questions, ma'am?
No, that's okay. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to set you down for a hearing,
Okay.
and you'll receive notice of the hearing date.
Okay.
All right. You're free to go back, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, she's still gonna need to sign those forms, correct?
The forms are waiver forms. So she has indicated that she wants to have a hearing.
Okay,
And so I'm going to, actually, I'm going to be over at the chambers later today. So I'll make sure that this gets written up so
Okay.
that she's set down for a hearing.
okay then, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And you are Miss Williams?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second, Miss Williams. Okay, Miss Williams, you've been charged with 1 count of trafficking in marijuana. I've set the bond at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, so how much would it be to get out?
It'll be a percentage of the bond. So anywhere from 10 to 12%, but you're gonna have to contact the bonding companies and they'll tell you the fee, because they base their fee on a percentage of the bond amount.
Okay.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you plan on hiring your own lawyer representing yourself, or do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I think I could see if I qualify, and then I guess I could work on getting a lawyer once I get up.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am, for the appointment of a lawyer. So I will appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
That'll be it for the women.
Okay, thank you for your assistance. Have a good day.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, Philip, once you go up, tell them your name, the last name. Let me back it up. Hey, you're.
What's your name, sir?
What's up, what's your name?
I'm sorry. Okay, sir, you've been charged with one count of concealing the ID of a motor vehicle, one count of obstructing an officer, and one count of having an invalid or expired tag. Your total bond is going to be set at $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? I'm sorry, did you say no? Oh, okay, sir, I cannot understand you. Did you ask why the bond is that much?
What was you saying? You don't understand?
I think you were asking how much his bond was.
Oh, he don't know how much his bond is, Your Honor.
Okay, it's $2,500. Okay, you understood that? Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Did he say yes?
What did you say? What was the question, Your Honor?
Did he want me to see if he qualified for the appointment of a lawyer?
You want a lawyer? You want to see if you qualify for a lawyer? Is it yes or no? Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Do you have any questions for the judge? No. No.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Watch out for the floor.
Brandon Arnold.
Okay, Mr. Arnold, you've been charged with, looks like several driving related offenses. You're gonna have a total bond set at $3,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You're gonna hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Arnold?
Wait.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Can you repeat the bond? Yeah, can you repeat the bond? All right, thank you.
Okay.
Hold on.
You can do it. She not saying things.
Brown, Clayton Brown.
Hey, Mr. Brown, you've been charged with two driving related offenses and one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're gonna have a total bond set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will be waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, how much are you paid per hour, sir?
I'm paid like $9 an hour.
Okay, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
James Campbell.
Okay, Mr. Campbell, you're charged, hold on 1 second, I'm sorry. You're charged with 1 count of battery. The bond has been set at $5,000 for this, and there's been a stay away provision placed on the bond to stay away from a Noreen Lancaster. Do you believe you can post this bond, sir?
No, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Campbell. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies here to see if they will work with you to bond you out, because that is their business model. So they will work with people. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Did we lose Mr. Bauman, Justin Bauman?
Oh, Bowman? Oh, I did. He be next after him. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh.
Tell me your name, sir.
Benjamin Coney.
Would you repeat that, please?
Benjamin Coney. Coney, like Coney Island.
Okay. Mr. Coney,
Okay.
let's see. You've been charged with 9 separate offenses. 6 of those are felonies. The bond is going to be denied at this point on the felonies. You're going to have a total bond set of $2,500 on the misdemeanors. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see, well, I'm also going to set a bond hearing date for May 21st at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Coleman. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. It's Coney.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. Mr. Coney,
Yes, sir.
you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer,
Yes.
and I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Yeah, way I can get in touch with the lawyer, or I have somebody to get in touch with the lawyer?
So it's going to be the Clayton County Public Defender's Office. And today is Wednesday. If you hadn't heard from them by tomorrow, you may want to give them a call and let them know that you have been appointed, they have been appointed to represent you.
Okay, can I call him from the jail?
I have someone to call them.
So I don't know if you're gonna be given like a free phone call or that sort of thing, but I do know that at some point you're gonna get access to use a phone. So you can either have someone from your family call, or you can call their office on your own.
Yes, sir. I was just wondering because I never been in this situation like this.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Justin Bowman.
Okay, you are Justin Bowman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of false imprisonment, 1 count of simple battery, and 1 count of obstruction or hindering an emergency telephone call. You're gonna have a total bond that's gonna be set at $13,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir.
Okay. There's gonna be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Tamisha Marshall. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Bowman. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Did you say no?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
Darius Copeland.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Copeland.
Sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 12 different offenses. Most of them are related to violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act or trafficking in cocaine, or methamphetamine, I'm sorry. I have denied the bond on the felony offenses at this point. The 2 misdemeanors with the speeding and the use or possession of drug-related objects. I've set a total bond of $3,000 on those 2 offenses. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to also have a bond hearing date that's going to be set for May 21st at 8:30 in the morning. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Copeland. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
If you appoint me a lawyer, can I still try to get my own?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you get your own lawyer, just make sure you let the appointed lawyer know that you've hired your own lawyer, and then just go about your business.
I appreciate it.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir. Okay, Mr. Fisher. Hey, did we lose Scott Coleman?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. They came from medical, so I had them in the back. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'm just,
Dr. Fisher.
yeah, we'll continue. I just, for my own accounting purposes on this side, I want to make sure I keep account of the people. Mr. Fisher. Mr. Fisher, you've been charged with 1 count of reckless driving and 1 count of improper lane change. You're going to have a total bond set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, are you currently working?
Yeah.
Okay, and let me ask you this also. Have you served in the military?
No.
Okay. How much are you making per hour?
I'm not making per hour, I'm making per mile.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm not making per hour, I'm making per mile.
Okay, approximately how much money do you make per month? Just a ballpark.
4,000.
Okay. All right. I'm going to find that you qualify, Mr. Fisher. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Dr. Coleman?
Okay, Mr. Coleman, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The bond is going to be set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Daisha Montgomery. Do you understand that?
Your Honor, I have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
She's 7 months pregnant, and with this people where I wouldn't be there for the baby born, is it any way if we can have something where I could be there when the baby is born or anything? With the charges, it's gonna be dropped later on in that day. She's doing like 2 months.
Okay, so Mr. Coleman,
Yes, sir.
I placed the same bond amount on Miss Montgomery, and I placed the same condition on Miss Montgomery to stay away from you. I don't know what happened. I don't know what caused the police to be called to your residence. I understand your concern about wanting to be there for the birth of your child. I would also caution you that moving forward in the future, the two of you need to handle yourselves differently. If you don't want other people in your life, if you don't want other people dictating who you can be around and who you can't be around, the two of you need to handle yourselves differently. So this stay away provision will remain. However, Ms. Montgomery can contact the solicitor's office to tell them that she wants the condition removed from you. And you can contact the solicitor's office to tell them you want the condition to be removed from Ms. Montgomery. And so hopefully the state doesn't have to be involved in regulating your lives, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that'll be the way that you can deal with this and to get this removed. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for May 18th for you. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you, and good luck on the birth of your child. Tell me your name, sir. Okay, Mr. Foster, you've been charged with 2 driving-related offenses: driving on suspended license and improper lane change. You're gonna have a total bond set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
I do, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I do.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Foster. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Christopher Garcia.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Garcia. Okay, Mr. Garcia, you've been charged with 1 count of home invasion, 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, and 1 count of terroristic threats. Bond is going to be denied at this point on these 3 felony offenses. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for let's see. For May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to also set a preliminary hearing date for you for May 21st at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I'm gonna have my own lawyer.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Is there any way I could get that court date earlier? My son's birthday on the 24th.
No, these dates are set sort of in advance. And because of the COVID situation, they're being set a little bit further out. Your lawyer may be able to work with the district attorney's office to see if they'll consent to a bond. But because of the allegations that are made in these warrants, I'm not prepared to set a bond on these offenses at this point.
So you're not gonna give me a bond on some he said, she said. There's no physical evidence on me or nothing like that.
Well, it's a police say to a judge say situation. These are not warrants where an officer just went out and stopped you. These are warrants from, it appears to be detectives, and they have sworn to their investigation. And so, you know, these are allegations at this point, but the allegation that you broke into a house and put a gun to somebody's head is not something that I'm gonna just place you out on the street.
Yeah, I understand that, but there was no, that's what I'm saying, there was no firearm on me. Like, they're sitting here flipping the script on me. That's what I want you to understand, Your Honor. Like, I'm sitting in jail right now because a little boy wanted to expose my sister. They let me in their house. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. They lying to y'all. They lying to 12. They lying on the police report, is what I'm saying. So I understand how my bond can be denied when this is just he say, she said.
Well, and I do understand that people do lie. And we've had officers come back and get warrants for the rest of people when they further investigate and saw that they lie. And I placed them in jail. So it's not a situation where you are being, at this point, found guilty of this. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know you, I don't know these people. I have a sworn affidavit before me that alleges that you put a gun to somebody's head. So I can't, you know, I can't, under those alleged facts, I can't just say, oh, okay, let me put Mr. Garcia back on the street.
I have never been locked up before. I have never done anything in my life but a traffic violation. That's what I'm not understanding. You gonna listen to a little boy tell 12, I put a gun to his head when the little boy was not even there. That's what I'm saying. The little boy was not there. I didn't even have my phone on me. I ain't have no gun. There's no gun registered to my name. There's no gun at all that I ever carried. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Like, my folks is military. So at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna be right, but I'm saying, like, how you gonna deny my bond on something when I know these people are lying and I have the physical evidence on my phone that the boy let me in the house. My sister has physical evidence that he was the one saying he finna rape my sister, that he finna molest my sister, and they just putting that all on me. We have email evidence, phone evidence, picture evidence. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like, my bond should not be denied, like, if I have evidence, and this is my first offense.
Hold on 1 second, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, sir. Like, I got right to a speedy trial or something, right? Like, we could do something. Like, I got all this evidence for y'all. Like, no cap.
So, Mr. Garcia, does Mr. Garcia have something to write with?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The police officer that sought this warrant, the name is ALMATIN, second word, Lamb, ALMB.
Okay.
From the Clayton County Police Department.
Uh-huh.
If you have the information that you're telling me, you should contact this officer and give this information to this officer.
So one question real quick. Look, while last night when I was on the phone and intake and everything, I talked to my people. They had already gathered off all the information because my mother-in-law used to be with the detective in DeKalb County. So she got everything printed out and everything. So I contact this person right now when I go back in my pod. And then what? I just have them give him the information, and then what? He could make it where I get released?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate that. Do you got the number, or I just got to ask these people about this?
Clayton County Police Department. That's the person's name. They work for the Clayton County Police Department.
I appreciate you.
Okay. And you said you're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're free to go back, Mr. Garcia. Tell me your name, sir.
Jared Harris.
Mr. Harris, you're charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer, 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, 1 count of tampering with evidence, and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're gonna have a total bond set at $13,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have
Would you be able to give me an estimate on what that bond would be?
It'll probably be somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And that's through a bonding company.
Okay. And my car got impounded, and you know the officers, they was a little aggressive. I didn't want to ask them too many questions, but I noticed when I got my property that I didn't have my wallet in my property. So is there a way you can give me the impound that I can provide my people with in order to retrieve my debit card?
You should have been given like a sort of an impound sheet, like a sort of a copy of where the car was towed.
I haven't.
Well, I don't, let me see. It looks like it said it was Highway 85 and Forest Parkway. It may be Tara Record, T-A-R-A Record.
Okay.
That may be the place to check, but I'm pretty certain that there's gonna be something in your paperwork about where the car was towed to.
Okay.
Just from a record keeping standpoint.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You say no?
No.
Okay, you're gonna hire your own lawyer?
Mr. Fry.
Or you're gonna represent yourself?
Nah, Stephen Fry is gonna represent me.
Oh, Stephen Fry, okay. All right. Do you have any other questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Did we lose Mr. Fletes, F-L-E-T-E-S?
Oh, he's a loan out to another county.
Okay.
Yep. Yo.
Okay, you're Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mr. Jones, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property, 1 count of simple assault, family violence. You're gonna have a total bond set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Monique Patrice Scott. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. The date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, I have a lawyer.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Jones?
Did I have a family violence?
Yes.
I don't know how I got, my son wasn't even there.
It says that you and Miss Scott have a child together.
Yes, we have a child together, but he wasn't there. This was on Christmas. And I just
So-
went to deliver his gifts, and we got into an argument. She was on the second floor balcony and I was on the ground.
So that's where the family violence component comes in. It's either that you live together or you share children together.
Oh, that's all. We don't live together. We just have a son. He wasn't there.
Right. I said, or you share children together.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other questions, Mr. Jones?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Sir, go.
Deputy, I have one more question. What about Mr. Hurd, H-E-R-D?
You're right here.
You're Mr. Hurd?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hurd, you've been charged with 1 count of battery and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. You're gonna have a total bond set at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm a single parent of an autistic child. I went and bought a car yesterday and came back home and my house was full of people. So I jumped in the shower, got out the shower, and it was a bunch of noise and, music. So I asked them to, quiet it down a little bit. And it got kind of irate because they was drinking. I hadn't been drinking. So I asked them to leave. And when I asked them to leave, I guess they got mad because I was arguing with my brother. He had his best friends over there, female. So they got mad because I was arguing with my brother. So I asked all of them to leave. Once they went down to the parking lot, I called for assistance because they kept banging on the door. Came back to my door with a gun, somebody they left a phone in the house and everything. I let them in there to look for the phone, but the phone was never recovered. I had the officers come in there and help look for the phone. The funny part is I'm the only one ended up locked up, and it was my house. And I got family violence and 2 counts of
Cruelty to children in 3rd degree, saying that you allowed children to watch acts of violence.
No, sir. First of all, the first child was outside. I had my child was in the house. So when the other child and the other people was outside, I called the police to come in to get the lady that was in my house looking for her phone out. They went out there and talked to her and came back up and locked me up.
Okay, that's a decision that they made. It's not a decision that I made.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand. I'm just trying to see how I'm in my residence. I call for assistance. Police get there. I go to jail. They out there in my yard, in my parking lot, raising commotion. I tell the officer that it's a firearm branch because I can't own a firearm. I have a child. So I don't know what was said because it was like my brother and 3 of his friends. They was all drinkers. I don't know what they said to the officers while they was outside. So while I'm in the house, all I know, I'm in there with my son.
Okay, Mr. Hurd, I believe it or not, I see this more often than any other offense, right? People that are getting into arguments and calling the police to come in to referee. And that almost 100% ends up with somebody going to jail. The police are not here to referee adults and their behavior and whatever may be going on. So I'm sorry that you got arrested and you believe that it was not something that should have happened. But at the same time, once you once you call someone else into your affairs, you are subject to that other person's discretion.
Understood.
Okay, so let me finish. So you may not agree with it, but at the end of the day, it's a decision that you made to call them in, right? You said you called the police.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the people that was in my house. I had just came from buying the car. I came back to my house was full of people.
So are you saying that they broke into your house or they were allowed access to your house?
Well, my brother, he had the key, but all the rest of the people, they was not allowed.
So your brother had the ability to allow those other people access to your house.
Correct.
So you probably should not give a key to your brother ever again in your life to have access to your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be a stay away provision on this to stay away from Stephen Rawls. Okay, that's the alleged victim in this case.
Okay, so when I called the police to make my report about the firearm being pulled on me, like how did that work?
So, Mr. Hurd, remember I just said that when you contact the police, you allow them into your business?
Mm-hmm.
And you just asked me about contacting the police to allow them into your business again? So they're going to make a decision. They're going to investigate and they're going to make a decision. And you may not like the decision that they make, but you're going to have to live with it. So you really need to think about calling the police and allowing them into your business if it's something that cannot be resolved in another way.
Oh, so what do you suggest I was supposed to do?
So we all have people that we know you cannot rely upon, right?
Sure.
So those people who may be family members of mine that I know I cannot rely upon, they don't have a key to my house. They don't have free access to my house. They don't have access to my bank account. They don't have access to stuff that I don't want to give them freely out of my pocket. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know you. I don't know your brother. I'm just responding to what you've said to me here today. I would allow this experience to sear into your brain so that moving forward, you make decisions that are designed to not have you subject to control by the state, meaning the police department or a judge. Because I don't know you, the police department, they don't know you. So they go upon what they see and what they're trained to notice. And we're all human. We get it wrong. We get it right. But at the same time, I guarantee you the police officer was not knocking on your door asking if there's something that they need to come in and look around and figure out.
Oh yeah, it was. They wanted to come in and look. I let them come in and look.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me, sir?
Yeah, so how would I be able to contact the person who has my child? Like, I have an autistic child out there. I have somebody watching them because.
You said, how are you going to be able to contact your child?
Yes, because I have an autistic child. He's a minor. Somebody's watching me. Like, this was so sudden. I had to call somebody. Somebody had to rush and get the son so I can be detained.
So your stay away provision relates to Stephen Rawls. Is that your brother?
Yes, sir.
And does your brother live there?
Yeah, I guess. He's been living there with me for about the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, so this stay away provision has nothing to do with your being able to take care of your child. Your brother as the victim, has a right to stay there at that residence. If you are allowing him to stay there, your brother can contact the solicitor's office and let them know that he's not afraid of you, and this condition can be modified.
What you mean, like I won't be able to go back in my own house?
So you've allowed Mr. Rawls to stay at your residence, is that correct?
Yes.
And he is the named victim in this warrant, which means as a judge, I cannot put a victim out of their home. The fact that you allowed him to stay there and to establish residence is a decision that you made.
Yeah.
Okay? So do you understand that?
Yeah, I mean, but 3 weeks doesn't establish a residence, right? You usually have to get a piece of mail.
Mr. Hurd, I am not gonna get down that rabbit hole. If he has been allowed to stay there, under certain circumstances, he may have established residence. I don't know. But that's gonna be something that you need to talk to your lawyer about.
Okay.
Okay? All right, sir, you're free to go back.
Okay, what's the bond?
It is $10,000.
Irvin Linus?
Your first name is Irwin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, I do.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Juan Cortez. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to know why I got blamed for this when he was trying to. He said he was going to stab me to death, and I just suspended myself. I usually go to Home Depot almost every day to buy material. And this guy out of the blue came out with his friends, and they tried to beat me up. I was defending myself the first time. And the second time, he started again while I was online. He started bugging me, calling me names and stuff like that. Then he said to me that I was gonna regret the firm because he was gonna stab me to death. That's when I called the cops.
So at this point, these are mere allegations, and it appears from looking at the warrant that the allegation that he made to the police is that you approached him and essentially that you attacked him. Now, if this was at Home Depot, they have security cameras and a video, that stuff that may be able to help support your cause. And I would encourage you to make sure that you gain access to those materials to help support your case. And if that's the case, then these charges will most likely be dismissed.
Okay.
Do you plan on hiring your own lawyer representing yourself? You want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? If you're saying that there is a situation where this surveillance video needs to be obtained, it may be in your best interest to hire a lawyer to get it done sooner rather than later. But if you want me to see if you qualify, I'll do that.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to find that you qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me? Okay, you're free to go back.
Hello.
Have your names? I'm sorry?
Leo Lowe.
Okay, Mr. Lowe. You've been charged with one count of tampering with evidence. I've set the bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Did you say no?
Yes, no, sir.
Okay, you're gonna hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Lowe?
I just want to thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Michael McNeil.
Okay. Mr. McNeil, you've been charged with aggravated assault, theft by taking, possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, simple battery, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I've denied bond on the felony charges, and I was unable to set a bond on the aggravated assault charge. I did set a bond on the simple battery charge at $5,000. And there's going to be a stay away provision on this. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. There's going to be a stay away provision to stay away from a Tyronda McNeil. Do you understand the stay away provision? Was that a yes?
I agree. What you say, sir?
I said there's a stay away provision to stay away from Tyronda McNeil.
Okay.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 17th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to also have a bond hearing date set for May 21st.
Is there any way we can speed in and let up, sir? Man, later, I gotta get back to my job. I ain't gonna be able to do nothing if I don't have my job.
Okay. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. The reason I asked that question is because the lawyer is the person that can contact the district attorney's office and see if they will consent to a bond for you so you can get out. You have any other questions for me?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Have your name, sir?
It's Marquez Mitchell.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell. Deputy is Kyle Amari Jordan. Is he OTB?
Who? John?
Looks like last name is Jordan, first name Kyle.
I think so.
Okay. I didn't have a bond order, so I believe him to be OTB.
Yeah, he's not here. Yeah, he's not here.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell, you're charged with one count of discharging a firearm near a highway. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You are going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. Thank
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
you.
Okay, Mr. Muhammad, you've been charged with one count of use or possession of drug-related objects, one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, One count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act and one count of failure to yield at a stop sign. You're gonna have a total bond that's gonna be set at $8,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry, did you say yes? Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Muhammad. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Marquis Nettles.
Do we still have Mr. McDaniel back there?
Yeah, that's one of the,
Oh, I'm sorry, that's fugitive. Thank you. Mr. Nettles, you're charged with one count of family violence battery, one count of cruelty to children in third degree. You're gonna have a total bond set at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's gonna be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from an Asia Davis. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is gonna be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Nettles. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, just thank you.
Okay, you have a good day.
Joseph Pass.
Okay, Mr. Pass, you've been charged with one count of driving under the influence of alcohol to the extent that you're a less safe driver, one count of obstruction of an officer, and one count of an open container violation. You're gonna have a total bond set at $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Pass. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have a good day. Free to go back.
Brian Reese.
Okay, Mr. Reese, you've been charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. It looks like it's possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The bond is going to be set at $1,500 for that. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Reese. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Good afternoon, Miguel Rivera.
Okay, Mr. Rivera, sorry, sir. You have a one count of battery, and the bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Lakia Davenport. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Could she contact the soliciting people as well?
Yes, she can. And just so you know, we set these stay away provisions on all of these offenses because we don't want whatever led to you appearing before me today to get started again this evening.
Understand.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Rivera. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me, sir?
You can have a blessed day.
Okay, have a good day. Okay, Mr. Sanders, you've been charged with a number of offenses. It's 8 total offenses. I've set bonds on all of these offenses. The drug-related offenses, the bonds looks like the total bond is going to be set at $43,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Sanders. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 17th.
About the lawyer.
Oh, you do qualify. I'm appointing a lawyer to represent you.
I said, no, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you already have a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, make sure you tell your lawyer that you have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. Most likely that'll be by Zoom. Your lawyer can consult with the district attorney's office to see if they will agree to a reduction of your bond. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, no, you said the bonds, 43,000.
Yes, sir.
That'd be like 4,300.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Brendan Shelton, sir.
Okay, Mr. Shelton, you've been charged with 1 count of improper backing, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and 1 count of driving on a suspended license. You're going to have a total bond set at $3,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Sir, I'm from Michigan, and it's gonna be kind of like hard for me to fly somebody down here. I have $2,200 cash on me right now, so in order for me to, it's like I'm gonna have to like go through a lot. Like I already have my people started buying with companies, like they actually, because I'm a resident of Georgia, because my ID is not a state Georgia, like state Georgia ID is gonna cost me more actually to use the bonding company. So I was trying to ask if you would allow me to bond out with the 2,200. It's in my account right now.
If you have the money to post the bond now, you can provide that money to the sheriff's department and they'll hold it and return it to you when your case is over.
I understand that, sir. What I'm saying is that I'm the only person in Georgia. I'm by myself down here, so I would have to fly someone in. So what I was trying to see was if it's okay with the court, I have $2,200 in my property. Could that be my bond? If not, I understand.
No, so these offenses, they're set by schedule. And what that means is that judges have sat down and decided what is the proper bond amount. So because this is something that is a collective decision, I'm not gonna go below it. Okay? You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I'm gonna get my own attorney.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Shelton?
No, sir. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Okay.
Good afternoon, y'all. Evan Sims.
Good afternoon. Mr. Sims, give me 1 second. Okay, Mr. Sims, you've been charged with 1 count of failure to yield, 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, being a firearm, 1 count of driving on a suspended license, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're gonna have a total bond set at $13,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. And if things change, I'll let
And I'm sorry, I didn't understand after you said yes.
I said, yes, sir. And if things change, I'll let the public defender know.
Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Sims? Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Oh, Lauren Smith?
And that was Lawrence Smith, correct? Okay, Mr. Smith, you've been charged with 1 count of window tint violation, 1 count of not registering or unauthorized use of a dealer tag, and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, being a Dodge Challenger.
Yes, Your Honor.
The total bond is going to be set at $21,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You're going to hire your own lawyer?
No, I said yes, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do qualify, Mr. Smith. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Oh, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Y'all, you want to do both of these shit together?
Yeah.
Well, not this way. On this, yeah, on this. I can see it. Please watch out. Yeah. Better.
Okay, who is Mr. Smith and who is Mr. McDaniel? You're Mr. Smith and you're Mr. McDaniel. Okay, so the two of you have the same rights and privileges as I described earlier, but you're in a special category. You're listed as what's called fugitives from justice. Means you don't have charges pending against you here in Clayton County, but you are being held as it relates to an allegation that there are warrants for your arrest in another jurisdiction. Mr. McDaniel, you're being held here for a warrant out of the Utah County Sheriff's Office, Spanish Fort, Utah, for burglary, theft by deception, possession of a controlled substance. And they've indicated that these are all felony offenses and that they will extradite. Mr. Smith, you are being held here. I'm sorry? Oh, you can't understand me?
Oh, we didn't hear the last part you said. Someone started talking.
Oh, okay. Mr. McDaniel, you're being held out of a warrant out of Utah, from the Utah Sheriff's Department, Utah County Sheriff's Department, and they're saying that there are burglary, theft by deception, possession of a controlled substance charges that are pending against you right now. Mr. Smith, you're being held for a warrant out of Cook County, Illinois, and it is a sex charge. And they said that it's a felony and they will extradite. So both of you have the right to have a hearing to determine whether you are the person, a hearing here to determine whether you are the person named in the warrant and whether the warrant is in fact valid or the charges are valid charges. The hearing here will not determine whether you are guilty or innocent. That's not for us to determine. All we're here to determine is to make sure that you are the person named in the warrant and that the warrant actually reflects a valid criminal offense. If you elect to have the hearing will take place sometime within the next 30 days before a judge here in Clayton County. And that judge will make that determination as to whether those two conditions are met. If the judge determines that those two conditions are met, the judge will sign the governor's writ. The governor actually has to sign off on it. And then the clock will begin to run. And Utah and Illinois will have up to 60 days to come and get either one of you. If they fail to come and get you at the end of that 60-day period, they most likely will receive a phone call from the sheriff's department here inquiring as to whether they still intend to come and pick you up. They may ask for an extension of another 30 days, or they may not. If at the end of that period, the sheriff's department here determines that either they have not come and gotten you within the time period that is allowed, or if they say, well, we're not going to come and pick that person up, you will be released from the sheriff's department here. But your warrant is not extinguished. So you can go walk out 5 minutes later, you encounter a police officer, and the police officer runs your information and determines that there's a warrant for your arrest. You'll be taken back into custody, and the whole thing will start all over again. You also have the ability to waive your right to a hearing. And if you waive the right to the hearing, you will sign documentation today saying that you waive your right to that hearing. I will sign that documentation today. And then those jurisdictions, both Utah and Illinois, will have up to 60 days to come and get you. And that time period will begin running today. So, does anybody have any questions about this process?
Yeah, is there any way to speed up the process? Like if I hire a lawyer in the Chicagoland area, is there any way that he could like make the expediting process much quicker than 60 days? That's a really, really long time.
So the lawyer can't necessarily speed the process up, but if you hire a lawyer in the Illinois area, that lawyer can advocate on your behalf, and they may decide, look, if he posts a bond here, we'll waive the warrant and he can then come up here. And that has happened before in the past, and because the benefit for Illinois is that they don't have to expend the money to come and get you. And the benefit for you is that you post a bond, which you'll probably have to post anyway, but you're out of jail faster. And then you just have to make sure you appear up in Illinois at the date that they set. Yeah. So have you hired a lawyer there?
No, not yet. I'm actually about to get on that right now. So you're saying the quickest process is to sign the waiver from the preliminary thing and also hire a lawyer, and that's the quickest route to take to getting out of jail.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Mr. McDaniel, do you have any questions about the process?
No, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Smith, what is your desire?
I'm going to hire a lawyer in the Chicagoland area, and I will be signing the waiver for the preliminary hearing. I don't need it. I assume they, you know, when you say valid, when you just really quick, I'm sorry, I don't want to hold you up any longer.
No, I'm here to answer your questions.
Awesome. When you say valid, they're not like by waiving the preliminary hearing. That's not me saying like, hey, this is a valid accusation, meaning I could be guilty, or like, I'm guilty. That's.
No,
Okay.
no. When I say valid, what I mean is that it's actually a crime in the books. So not that you did it, but that, so example is if they say, well, he's being charged with concealing the identity of a extraterrestrial, you know, and it's like, okay, that's not a crime. So, you know, you're free to go.
Okay.
But if it's like theft by shoplifting, yeah, that's a crime. Okay.
Right. Yeah, okay, I'll be waiving it. I'll be waiving the preliminary hearing, hiring a lawyer.
Okay, so what'll happen, Mr. Smith, is the deputies will present you with paperwork to sign. There'll be a number of copies for you to sign, and they'll send it to me, and then I'll sign it and send it back. And so your time will begin to run today. And then at the same time, it would be in your interest to hire a lawyer there to address this. Because more often than not, there will be a desire by the requesting jurisdiction, which is Illinois, to expend the least amount of money as possible to guarantee that you come back. But they also they're going to want to make sure that you come back. So it'll be their decision as to what is the best thing to do. Because if, you know, they have your case file, and if they, you know, if this is like the 10th time that you've dropped off the radar, they may not agree to it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Get a lawyer, and it will most likely, hopefully, bond out quicker than waiting 60 days and maybe even more.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Mr. McDaniel, do you have any questions?
No.
Do you know what you desire?
I signed the paper. I'm signing the paper.
Okay. So you'll get the paperwork also, and you'll sign it, and they'll send it to me today, and then I'll sign it and send it back. Okay. Any other questions from either one of you?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. You're free to go back after you sign the paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.